Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back. This issue of Doom Academy was a lot of fun to read. This issue has fairy tale monsters running wild, multi-dimensional zombie armies, and some romantic tension. If you ain't caught up on this series, I got the previous breakdowns linked in the description. But trust me, you're gonna want to stick around for this one, cause it's a good one. Alright, so we're picking up right where issue number 4 left us hanging. And you guys remember how Zoe and Greta bonded over fighting monsters in the magical Latverian fairy tale book, right? Well, turns out when they rescued Greta, they accidentally brought some uninvited guests back to the real world. And I'm talking about some ugly looking creatures from the Arcana Latveriana. That's the fancy name for the book of Latverian fairy tales that was basically operating as a magical prison. Now, the Doom Academy library, which, let's be real, probably has more cursed books than your average Barnes & Nobles has romance novels, is about to become ground zero for most chaotic study sessions since Doctor Strange tried to speed read The Darkhold on 2 hours of sleep and pumpkin spice latte. So check it out. We got Doyle, Zelma, and Scoop just trying to have a normal day at the library when bam, these fairy tale monsters start going absolutely wild. And then we get a funny exchange. Zelma says, "Cover me." Doyle says, "Cover you? Who's covering me?" Scoop says, "I am?" It's giving major Scooby-Doo vibes where everyone's just running around screaming. But Zelma comes in clutch and traps one of these creatures in a magical cage, only for it to break free immediately. Then we got Doyle squaring up with this dog-like monster, and he says, "Bad dog. This fella is worse than the hellhounds my dad keeps in the dark dimension." The monster grabs both Doyle and Zelma, and Doyle's just like, "Very, very bad dog." While Zelma drops this gem. I was already a cat person, but this clinches it. Even in mortal danger, Zelma's out here cracking jokes. But here's where things get real. Scoop, who's been the quiet one this whole time, just casually grabs an axe off the wall and goes full slasher movie on this monster. He says, "We do like the story says, we chop him up," and then just straight up destroys this thing like he's been waiting his whole life for this moment. It's giving major Evil Dead vibes, you know, like when Ash picks up the chainsaw and decides he's done playing games with the Deadites. Scoop just channeled his inner Bruce Campbell and said, "Nah, we ain't doing this today." Meanwhile, across the library, we got Zoe, Greta, and Marta dealing with their own monster situation. And this is where the real tactical genius starts showing. Greta's calling for shields, Zoe's weaponizing books, which in a magical library is probably the most OP move ever. And they're coordinating like they've been in a team for years. But here's the beautiful moment. Greta asks Marta about the boomerang spell, and Marta's like, "Yes, but they said it was for emergencies only." Greta says, "Oh right, sorry." Even in the middle of a life or death situation, this girl's still following the rules like she's worried about getting detention. That's some serious rule follower energy right there. When they join hands to cast a spell together, it's the perfect moment of unity. These girls who barely knew each other are now literally joining forces to save everyone's lives. The monster goes down, but not before tagging Zoe, which gives us this hilarious exchange where Doyle thinks she might need true love's kiss to wake up. Classic fairy tale logic. But Zoe's just like, "What? It just stings. Zombie here, remember?" Gotta love how Zoe keeps everyone grounded in reality while they're dealing with literal fairy tale chaos. This is where issue number 5 gets really good. The monsters keep coming. Everyone's starting to panic. Marta says, "My family is going to kill me for this." The Doombot tries to help Shaylee. He says, "Shaylee, behind Mr. Doombot now." But there's just too many creatures. Scoop's complaining about the fast trolls. Trolls aren't supposed to be fast. Why is it fast? And Zelma's got her own Indiana Jones moment saying, "Spiders? Why'd it have to be spiders?" That's when Doyle hits us with the reality check. There's too many to fight, and none of us know how to get them back in the book. But check this out. Zoe's brain just goes into overdrive. She drops this next level crash course in magical theory. Well, the Arcana Laveriana functioned as a jail, right? But what does that actually mean? It was just a different place to stick the things we didn't want in our world. So, if we could also access some other realm that's not ours to banish them to, they wouldn't be our problem anymore. Zoe just redefined the entire problem in like 10 seconds. She's not thinking about fighting the monsters. She's thinking about relocating them. But here's where it gets dicey. Zoe's basically suggesting they dump these monsters in Dormammu's dimension. And Doyle, ever the worried son, is like, oh no, Dad's not going to like this. Are you sure opening a portal into the dark dimension is a good idea? It's full of way worse things than these goobers. Things that probably like me even less. But Zoe's already made up her mind. Just open the portal, Doyle. I'll take care of the rest. Doyle opens the portal with a casual, "Open sesame," which, sidebar, love how he keeps it simple with the magic words. And then Zoe has her own Avengers Assemble moment. She says, "Spirits of the dark dimension, I command you, rise and attack." This girl just summoned a zombie army from Dormammu's dimension to fight fairy tale monsters in Doctor Doom's library. And Doyle's reaction is priceless. Multi-dimensional reanimation of the dead was not on my Doom Academy bingo card, but bingo. The zombies start dragging the monsters back to the dark dimension, and Zoe even has to tell one of them, "Not that one, he stays," when it almost grabs Doyle. She's leading an undead legion with a kind of authority that made Captain America salute. That's some serious character development from the girl who started this series just trying to survive magical high school. Right when they think they're done, who shows up but the big man himself, Doctor Doom. And he is not happy with the adults in charge. When Dr. Voodoo tries to explain himself, Doom just cuts him off with this savage response. "Intact? Indeed. No thanks to your administrative acuity, or lack thereof. Is this how you plan to run my school, Voodoo? By allowing children to battle the beasts, monsters, and riff-raff while you were off gallivanting? Who knows where?" Dr. Voodoo tries to defend himself. "Gallivanting? I was battling shadow demons in Limbo, and I trust my students to take care of themselves." But Doom ain't hearing it. He basically tells him that the kids did better than the adults, which is both a compliment to the students and the most devastating burn ever delivered to the school administration. But then, Doom turns to the kids and drops this line. "But be warned, in Latverian baseball, you only get 2. Unlike your educators, you, my disciples, you have earned your admission today." And can we appreciate how Doom just casually referenced Latveriana baseball like that's a normal thing? This man really created his own version of America's pastime. Anyway, Doom then welcomes back Greta. He tells her, "Welcome back, Miss Montemore. I wonder when we'd see you again." Greta says, "Thank you, sir." And then Doom throws shade at her brother, saying, "For what? Expelling your brother for ineptitude? Lack of loyalty in general? What does the youth say? Suckage?" Dr. Doom really said suckage. But the most intriguing moment is when he talks to Zoe about her grandmother. He hints that there's way more to her family history than she knows, which is definitely setting up some major plot points for future issues. After all that multi-dimensional madness, we get the most heartwarming moment in the entire series so far. Greta's staying with Zoe and Marta temporarily, and there's this funny exchange where Marta's actually being nice to Greta while still throwing shade at Zoe. Greta tells Zoe, "Thanks again for letting me crash with you guys until the housing fairy finds me a roommate." And Marta responds with, "Oh, you can stay as long as you want, Greta." Then Zoe's like, "If only you greeted me with such non-hostility, Marta." But the real magic happens when Greta takes Zoe to her favorite spot on campus, someplace that meant everything to her, from the before times. The way Greta opens up about how much it means to have someone who cared enough to find her and bring her back would make anyone shed a tear. She starts to say something embarrassing, but then Zoe just goes for it and kisses her. And their reaction, just, wow, yeah, is perfect. No dramatic speeches, no over-the-top declarations, just two people who've been through hell together realizing they care about each other. It's giving major Spider-Man upside-down kiss energy, but in a magical academy setting. But of course, we can't end on a happy note, because someone's been watching Greta and Zoe through a computer screen, and they drop this ominous line. It is time to let the Monty-Moores know that their prodigal daughter has returned. And that right there tells us everything we need to know about where this story's headed. Greta's family is about to become a major factor, and considering Doom already threw shade at her brother, we know the Monty-Moore family dynamics are gonna be messy. So Doom Academy issue number 5 is such an enjoyable, fun comic. The way it balances action, character development, romance, and world building is fantastic. Zoe's tactical genius moment where she solves the monster problem through dimensional manipulation instead of brute force shows real growth in her character. She's not just reacting to problems anymore. She's anticipating and outthinking them. The romance between Zoe and Greta feels earned because they've literally fought monsters together and saved each other's lives. That's a way better foundation than most comic book relationships get. And Dr. Doom showing up, he's authoritarian and intimidating, but he also recognizes talent and courage when he sees it. The way he handled the aftermath, praising the students while calling out the adults, shows he's actually invested in these kids' development. The art throughout this issue is absolutely gorgeous too. The monster designs are creative and scary, the action sequences are easy to follow, and the quieter character moments have real emotional weight. With Greta's family about to enter the picture, and Doom dropping hints about Zoe's mysterious grandmother, we're definitely building towards some major revelations. Plus, the dynamic between all these students is getting more complex as they face real danger together. I'm predicting that Greta's family situation is going to create some serious drama, especially since Doom already expelled her brother. And whatever secrets Zoe's family is hiding are probably connected to why she's such a powerful necromancer. The fact that these students handle a multi-dimensional monster crisis better than their teachers suggests they're ready for bigger challenges. Dr. Doom's definitely going to test them further. Alright, that's going to do it for this breakdown of Doom Academy issue number 5. Drop a comment below and let me know what you thought about Zoe's zombie army strategy. Was that the most badass problem solving you've seen in a series so far, or what? And what do you think is going to happen when Greta's family shows up? Don't forget to like this video if it helped you catch up on the series. Subscribe for more comic breakdowns, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. I got links to all the previous Doom Academy breakdowns in the description. Until next time, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!